WBS 87 Atlanta, WAEN FM Atlanta, WBHH, and on iHeartRadio, the home of the Beat Break Morning Show with Sean Garvey, DJ Rollum, and the Wake Up Ladies. This is Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. Streaming online at beatbreakradiofm.com. The views and opinions expressed on this program does not necessarily reflect those of Beat Break 87 FM, Reach One Communications, volunteers, staff, and management of Reach One Communications.
This portion of Beat Break Radio is only suitable for mature audiences and not suitable for young audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mario, and I would like to welcome you into another episode of the Random Select Podcast. It's the podcast that's all about thought-provoking talk right here on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. Want to thank you guys for spending your afternoon with me. Definitely appreciate it. Where else would you rather be? Honestly, though, where else would you rather be? Real quick before we go any further, we have a program change and note. The Random Select Podcast usually re-airs from 10 to 12 p.m. Monday through Friday Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be pushed back a couple hours. It's going to start airing at 12 a.m. to 2 p.m. That way to give all my graveyard shift people a chance to catch the podcast. I know you're sleeping right about now, but make sure you guys make a note of that. Also, guys, if you're liking the show, please share it. Let us know that you appreciate what we're doing. Besides, where else would you rather be than tuned in right here to the Random Select Podcast? We're out there. We're everywhere. Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. If you want to hit me up personally, hit me up at randomselect@gmail.com. That's randomselect@gmail.com. That's random select, and that's select with 2 T's. All right, guys, let's get into it. What's been going on with you? What's been happening? What's really real out here in the world today? There's a lot of stuff to talk about. So, but today I just wanted to ask a few questions. You know, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love, comes to life and things of that nature. But it's a few things going on in the world I really want to talk about. You know what I mean? Let's talk about, start it off real quick. Let's talk about Jamie Foxx real quick, guys. Allegedly, some woman has come out and said that in 2002, she went to a party at Jamie Foxx's house, and Jamie Foxx allegedly whipped his wood out and, hit her with it. I guess slapped her in the face. That's the only thing I can assume. And so that was in 2002, and she just now coming forward with it. And she said after it happened, she went back home. She started having panic attacks and things of that nature. And once again, I don't want to downplay the Me Too movement. I don't want to make it seem like that it doesn't have a place, because it definitely has a place. The only issue that I be having is that if something traumatic happened to me, and I know every situation is different, and I know everybody don't have the same constitution as me, and I know that certain things could be more traumatic than other things, right? But this supposedly happened in Las Vegas. It happened in 2002. I'm not the brightest in the world, but I can do basic, simple math, and that's like 16 years ago. Now, why all of a sudden you having the strength and the courage to come forward after 16 years? And the people, the law authorities in Las Vegas said that the statute of limitations on this type of crime is only 3 years. So pretty much you're not bringing it out to have Jamie Foxx locked up, and he's, come flat out and said, hey, this didn't happen. So what you're pretty much trying to do is to come out and try to gain some type of monetary funds up out of this. You're going to take this to civil court and take your chances there. Now, he's come out and said that, yes, I didn't do it and you know, it didn't happen. But at some point, in order for his pecker to have gotten whipped out, that means at some point you was about to, you know, show him what your head game like. I mean, let's just be honest. In order for him to get to the point where he slapped you in the face with his, you know, manly parts, at some point you agreed to do some things to him that maybe at the last minute you backed out, or maybe you just didn't feel right. Maybe you think he was degrading you by slapping you with it. And I mean, like I said, she said that the Me Too movement gave her the courage to come out and do this. And before everybody jump on the bandwagon and make it seem like I'm against the Me Too movement, I just want to let you guys know that I'm not against the Me Too movement. Because if somebody's doing something to you that's highly offensive and highly inappropriate, you definitely need to report that person. You definitely need to out that person. My only problem is I just wish you women would do it right when it happened. You know, stop waiting 10 years, 5 years after the fact. And like I said, I understand a sexual assault. I definitely get it takes you a minute to go home and kind of figure out what really happened. And you may be so distraught that sometimes you have that where people say that out of body experience. You don't feel like yourself, and you want to go home and just wipe the stench off you and things of that nature. I get that, right? That part I totally understand. But when it comes to things like people saying words or somebody touching you, I ain't talking about rape. Rape is a whole nother different ball game. I think it should be no statute of limitations on rape. You know, it shouldn't matter whether you raped me now or 5 years ago. You still violated me. But when it comes to saying offensive things and maybe inappropriately touching people, I think this stuff should be brought to the forefront right as soon as it happened. And also, what happened to the days where, you know, strong women would let a dude know straight up, I don't play this shit. You know what I mean? If you came to a woman a certain way and she went with that, she'll just let you know straight up. When did it get to the point where the women just take things and don't say anything anymore? I guess I'm just used to dealing with a different type of woman. Where I come from, if a woman don't want no sexual advances, or you speak to a woman out of term, or you speak to her the wrong way, she gonna put you in your place and let you know that, hey, I don't play that shit. You know what I mean? But I guess we live in a world where I don't play that shit, you know, is on the back burner. But does that all go back to the point where, as my friend Decatur May Dave like to say all the time, the pussification of America? Is that what this is? You know what I mean? Where you're too afraid to say something when somebody violates you? I mean, I can imagine. I mean, and I know in traditional, normal fashion that this doesn't happen, but I just can't imagine as a man if another man touch me inappropriately or try to sexually assault me. I just can't imagine me going home and trying to figure out what to do next. And I know it's a totally different thing, and I know because I'm a man, we have that machismo, that bravado, and things of that nature. Then I know I in the realm of things, I understand it's totally different. It's like comparing apple to oranges. I'm not saying that's, you know, the same, but I just can't imagine me waiting 5 years before I come out and tell somebody that, or either let somebody know that somebody tried to, you know, sexually assault me or touch me inappropriately. Some things you got to handle right then and there. I don't give a damn about what the career is. I don't give a damn about, you know, what's at stake, my fame, popularity, auditions, and all the stuff they like to say, come out and say, oh, it would have hindered my career. And then come to find out that even when you didn't tell, your career was hindered. So you might as well had told from the get-go. And like I said, that's all I really want to say about that. Oh, yeah, and one last thing. I read something the other day that says what is contributing to a lot of the sexual assaults and a lot of the inappropriate sexual behavior is the way that we try to it's the way we raising the boys, to try to tell him what being a man is, to try to tell him, to try to show a young man what masculinity is. And they're contributing that to some of the inappropriate things that some of these guys in Hollywood and other places are doing, you know. And once again, if you wanted to, you can make data, polls, information, focus groups, and all that stuff. You can make the data say whatever you want it to say. You could present it in such a light where it could tell you that 95% of all black people eat chicken. You know, you could say that, because I'm just saying, how you raise your son, if you're a man and they're in a 2-parent household. If you that type of guy, I just don't know no guy that say, son, it's okay. You walk up to her, you pat her on the ass, and you look her dead in the eye, and you say, I want you. I want that, and I got to have it, and it's supposed to be okay. Unless you're just a complete moron, or you're a complete idiot, or you just came out the cave just yesterday when you got your club and you feel you want to bust her over the head, drag her into the cave, and now that's your wife. It don't work that way. And I just don't think that the way we raising our boys and the way we raising the kids is contributing to that. Those dudes are their own individual person, their own individual people. They decided they want to do this because they wanted to do this, not because how they were raised. And it may be some of them were raised in a certain environment where once you became a certain way, then they tell you, hey, look, this is what you're entitled to. But a lot of these guys are pretty much not how they were raised, but they're using their power and their influence to get away with some of this stuff. Pretty sure their mom and dads didn't raise them to go around saying inappropriate things and sexual assaulting people. A lot of people feel because I'm so-and-so, I'm entitled to this because I'm so-and-so. She's not going to tell me no. And because I'm so-and-so, you better not tell. You know, that's pretty much what that boils down to. I don't think some of these guys who had moms in their life, mom was teaching them that the way you be a man is that you go out and you say inappropriate things and you start patting women on the ass. You know, I'm pretty sure that's the case, you know, but I mean, who knows? Maybe some moms were doing that. Maybe some dads were doing that. You know what I mean? So who knows? You know what I mean? But that's all I really want to say about that. You know, I just think that they're reaching by saying that, that the way we raising the boys and teaching them about masculinity is the reason why they're turning out to be this way, you know? So if that's the case, you might as well go out on a limb to say the reason the kids are doing school shootings is because we're raising them to go shoot kids. We're raising them to go kill kids. And if somebody brought that argument up, you would look at that person and everybody would look at that person like they crazy. You were raising this boy to be a homegrown terrorist. You were raising these kids to go to the school and shoot their peers and their fellow students. So, like I said, you could take information and you could make it do whatever you want it to do. You can make it say whatever you want it to say, because that's the world we live in now. We need facts and figures and data and focus groups to make us feel better about ourselves. If we can't quantify it, then we have a fucking problem with it. You know, it has to be, everything that we do in this country have to fit into a category. You know, it has to be quantified. We used to be the land of the free, home of the brave. Now we become the home of the bitching and the complaining. You know, like I say, it's a couple things in this country. Two things we definitely love in this country. We love red tape and we love standing in line. I mean, that's what we have become. We have become so not innovative, so, you know, not to the point where we just roll up our sleeves and get the job done anymore. What we love to do is pass the buck on to the next person. You know, we see a job in front of us, we won't take care of it. We try to find someone else who will take care of it. And nobody wants the old-fashioned work anymore. We all think that everything can be accomplished by our phone and on our computer, but nobody actually want to put boots on the ground, roll up their sleeve, and get the job done. And for those that still do that, kudos to you. You know, which is why we have a problem where people say, oh, we probably watch more TV than any country in the world, but yet and still we rarely produce TVs here. Tell me, how does that make sense? I'm just saying you could put numbers together to make them say anything, but when you're on the ground and when you're seeing stuff happening inside your neighborhood, you know that, like, they'll say, oh, crime has went down 22% in the neighborhood. To the people who live in there, they'll say, what the hell the 22% at? Because I see bullshit happening around here every day. You know what I mean? But the numbers come out and say crime has went down. Crime can easily be saying that it went down if people are not calling the police because they don't have trust in you no more. Crime can easily be said that crime went down if they feel if I call the police out here, the police is going to be the one to actually kill somebody. So I'm tired of hearing about numbers. I'm tired of hearing about focus groups. I'm tired of hearing about us saying that everything has to fit into a category. Sometimes things don't fit into a category. The category it fit in is it needs to be fixed. That's the category that we don't put things in. We'll say there's a problem, but then that's where it stops. How many times you have heard people say, well, we're going to put a committee together to look into this? A committee, yeah. And how many times does a committee ever come back with feasible solutions that they say, now that we got the solutions, we're going to roll out these solutions tomorrow? People get committees together. People get all type of people that sit down and talk about it, but what is that doing? Like when it's like the only time a stoplight goes up at an intersection or in the neighborhood when somebody get killed. That's the only time somebody decides that, hey, something needs to be done. How come we got all these great minds in America? We got all these great minds in different cities, different communities, different neighborhoods, but it only sparks the mind when something tragic happens? Why is that? Why can't us as Americans have enough ingenuity, have enough forethought to see something before it happens and try to do something about it? So I said on the last podcast that I was on, right? I said that if we're consciously gonna not do anything about the guns, maybe we should try to focus some effort, some energy in trying to fix the kids, try to figure out why they're doing what they're doing. Because obviously the gun thing is not going anywhere anytime soon. You got people spending millions of dollars to try to make sure that the guns stay in play. And I've always said, I'm not saying that we should eradicate all guns, because even if they did that tomorrow, let's say they did it tomorrow, you're always going to have a black market for everything. So if you eradicated all guns and got rid of all guns, say nothing but law enforcement could have guns, you're going to still have people running around here with guns that they bought off the black market. And then one day what's going to happen is you're going to have people that slowly but for surely building up a stockpile of arms, and some police going to run up on them, and the police are going to be highly undermanned, highly, outgunned. I mean, it's happening right today. So now you got all these things where we should be trying to suppress guns. Now they coming up with all these build it at home 3D printer guns that's perfectly legal as long as you can build it yourself. So we see all these mass shootings and we see all this stuff going on. So people having this fear that one day that guns may actually be gone, so they going other alternative routes to try to get guns, keep guns. And I'm not saying that all guns need to be gone, but let's just get rid of the assault rifles. Let's just get rid of the automatic stuff. I'm fine if you got a little 6-shooter. I'm fine if you got a little revolver. Who is breaking in your house? Who is harming your family that the 6-shooter can't stop? That you feel you need an AR-15? Are the Avengers breaking in your house? The last time I checked, that's a movie. Real people can get hit with a 380 or a 22 and it will be down for the count. Unless they just got on bulletproof vests and things of that nature. But if you got an AR-15, I would love to know. I wish I could talk to someone who owned one. What are you trying to stop? What are you trying to achieve by possessing this AR-15? You know, and that's what I would truly ask. What are you trying to achieve? What would be the thing that you find that if came to your door, you feel you couldn't stop with a 380? You feel you couldn't stop with a 357? Something that you got to load that you got 6 bullets in. I don't know. Are we to the point now in America where we just too lazy to load the gun? We just, we just want to squeeze the trigger and hope for the best? You know. I want to tell you guys that in the next coming lives, in the next coming recording of the show, I'm going to open up the phone line so you guys could participate with me, so you guys could call up here and let me know what you think, because I would love to know what's going on with people who listen to the podcast, and I would definitely like to know what's going on with some of the new people that we get from Facebook Live, from YouTube, and all the places that we're going to be streaming. We're trying to get up and running, so we're streaming everywhere, so there's no excuse. Whatever your social media platform choice is, we want to make sure that we're there. You know what I mean? I just feel glad and happy that we getting to the point where we can up the production, make it a little bit more polished, and I could come on live and do more things, so that's good. Once again, you're listening to Mario right here on the Random Select Podcast. It's the podcast that's all about thought-provoking talk right here on Beat Break 87 FM, Atlanta's new underground station where music and talk radio lives. What else is going on in the world out there? Everybody's out there wondering where LeBron is going to go. Now it's looking like the front runner was LA, but with this thing going on with LeVar Ball and the other guy, LeBron need mature people to go play with. This kiddie stuff that they going back making diss songs talking about each other, I just can't see LeBron going now. I just can't see. And at times, if you're going to go to the Lakers, you might as well stay in Cleveland, because the Lakers only have a few pieces in that time last year. They were running around on the court looking like they don't know what the hell they doing. So I just can't see him going now. But I also can't see him staying in Cleveland as well. So you also heard rumors about the Golden State Warriors potentially might be packaging something up to trade for Anthony Davis. So if that happens, the rich get richer. But at the same time, you also got to ask yourself, who would they be packaging up? Could they be trying to do a shake up of this thing? Could Draymond Green be on the way out? I'm just asking. You never know. What else is going on out here in the world? I wanted to ask this question, before. Right now, I want to talk about quite a few things, and apparently I didn't bring my notes with me. So I'm just going to wing it. But I do know one of the things that I wanted to ask, and I guess I'm pretty much talking to the women, but I guess the men this could be flipped around to the men. How much do you give a person and put your all into it before you actually say, I'm done? I asked this question before on previous podcasts, but a young lady sent me an email, and she told me her story, told me what was going on with her. And I said to her, damn, you going through a lot. I mean, this man must really don't care about you, cause from what you're telling me, you stood by his side through thick and thin. I mean, through him going to jail, then through him going to prison, then him coming out, finally getting his life together. Then once he sort of kind of walking down the path of getting his life together, he still throws stuff at you that he shouldn't be, doing, which makes me say, a woman would love us, right? Give us her all. She would give us everything, and we would constantly screw her over, do her wrong, break her heart, play the games with her, and she'll still somehow, in the back of her heart, still muster up just a little love for us. You know what I mean? Still find a way to love us. And all her friends and her family will say she fucking crazy, say that she should leave him, but in her mind, that's her man, right? But soon as these women do us wrong, we out. I mean, we can't believe she did something like that. She's a whore. She's a bitch. And it's no way we would ever stand by her side and stick by her, because for some reason, us men are physically stronger than women, but when it comes to that intestinal fortitude, when it comes to being put through the paces of just somebody doing you wrong, somebody hurting you, I just don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how you find that strength and that courage to keep getting back up and taking those punches. I just don't know how you do it, because, I mean, God did something wonderful when he created a woman and put us in our life. And that's not to say that we should keep fucking y'all over. That's not to say that we should try to break y'all. You know what I'm saying? But most men, they do. Most men, they do their best to try to break the woman. They throw her down, kick her. And I'm speaking metaphorically. I'm not talking about somebody actually trying to break the woman, but I'm talking about her spirit, her soul, her essence. We do our best to try to break y'all. I mean, but for some reason, y'all keep bouncing back. It's like I think it's Timex. It's a Timex that take a licking and keep on ticking. Y'all just keep bouncing back. And at some point, though, when do you get to the point where you just don't feel like you want to bounce back? Where you feel like you giving him everything that you could possibly give him, and he's still not appreciative? At what point, do you women say enough is enough? I mean, y'all are beautiful, because the one time we find y'all even remotely talking to a man, we're going to put y'all in the category where she can't be trusted. She's just a skank. We kick y'all to the curb. We move on. And then here's the kicker to all that. Once we move on, we'll tell anybody who listening, anybody that's in the sound of our voice, we'll say she was no good and she was crazy. And when the new woman come in, they never ask us, what did you do? Y'all always believe we were great. Y'all always believe we were good. We just ended up with the wrong woman, right? Until 6 months in, after you start dating that fool, and you realize, oh, I see why she left your ass. Yeah, you understand? But I just wanted to say real quick that I give women all the credit in the world, because you guys find a way to keep bouncing back after, y'all have turmoil after turmoil after turmoil, but y'all still find a way to keep going. And that's a beautiful thing if placed in the proper care, if placed in the right hands. But when it's not in the right hands, I mean, us men, we can break a woman down. We can screw them all the way up. And then some women can't come back. Some women close off their heart and then just feel that trying to have a man is not even worth it. Some women close off their heart and just feel, you know what? Why keep going through the same old rigmarole when I know it's just going to end up in hurt? Because they truly get to the point where they figure all men are dogs. They really believe that. And we don't do anything to stop them. We don't do anything to make it feel like that's what we want to do. We don't do anything to make all that turn right. We time after time confirm what they are thinking, that men are dogs. And I'm not saying all men, because you got some damn good men out there that's doing what they have to do. And Father's Day's coming up, and some of those men are are really going to get shown that they're appreciated by their families, by their women, their wives, their girls, and their kids. Some men are doing what they're supposed to do. Some men are towing the line, trying to make sure that the women in their life understand that they're doing a good job. But if you know you're that type of man that's out there playing them games, and once again, when I say all this to you guys, I'm not saying this like I'm standing on the soapbox and saying I'm holier than thou. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I can say all this because I have deep introvert knowledge of a dude playing the games, ain't ready, taking somebody hard and taking it through the gutter, stomping on it time and time again, trying to see, damn it, why won't she break? Damn it, why can't I break her? But then I grew up. Then I had a moment, an epiphany, where I said, I got somebody who got my back. Why am I doing everything in my power to push her away? Why? Somebody tell me, why am I doing that? I'm doing everything in my power to push this woman away. But that's what we do as men. We do everything in our power to try to push a woman away. Even when you're pushing her away, she still find a way to come closer and try to love you and try to wrap you inside her love. But the bottom line is this: a lot of us just aren't used to receiving love. A lot of us just couldn't recognize love as love was standing right in front of us. We'd say, excuse me, or either, can I help you? Do I know you? No, you don't know. You don't know him. You don't know her. That's love. Oh, that's what that is. Yeah, and that'll be the traditional response from a lot of men because, let's face it, especially a lot of black men, we grew up without fathers. We had no blueprint for somebody to tell us how to love. We never saw a loving relationship around us. And I say this all the time. If I look around at most of the kids that I grew up with, all of us was out without fathers. But they tell us to grow up and love a woman right. And then you sitting at the back of the love class going, excuse me, teacher, I got one question. How am I supposed to love her right when I've never seen what love is supposed to do? Or I just am vaguely familiar with the concept of love? Now, if you take all those same men, you put them in a sex class. You take those men, you put them in a getting a woman pregnant class, baby daddy classes. Oh, we gonna pass them classes. We gonna get them flying, them A's, and now we gonna pass them classes with flying colors. Because that's what we do, baby. We'll pop a baby and bounce. We'll get a woman pregnant and dip. We will get a woman pregnant and walk right past her like we don't know her. She'd be like, hey, I've been trying to get up with you. You don't know me. I don't know you. And like I said, I'm not saying this because I'm holier than thou. I've had my indiscretions in my lifetime, and I'm not trying to be too pompous to admit that I've had my issues, but I'm just trying to say, once you grow up and you realize, because not having your father is an excuse, but it's not a permanent excuse. Not being able to have examples of love or good relationship around you is an excuse, but it's not a permanent excuse. Because once you come to the point where you realize what you're doing and you still don't change it, then that's a you issue. Once you come to the point where you have mentally elevated yourself and you understand what you are not doing as a man, or better yet, what you are doing to hurt her and to cause her pain while y'all can't communicate right, while y'all can't get on the same page. When you realize it's you and you still continue to do it, then that's a whole nother issue in itself. I mean, I wish that I could pull some young dudes aside and say, hey, look, one day you're not going to be 17 to 25 anymore. One day you're going to head toward 30. You're going to start having kids. And I promise you, once you start having kids, especially girls, you're going to look at the way you treat a woman totally different then. Because once you start seeing guys treat your daughters a certain way, it's going to light a fire in you. You're not going to want to have it happen. Because the one thing that, even if you don't understand love, even if you never knew what love is in your entire life, you're not ever going to want to see your little girl's heart being broke by some dude. You may not understand it from your standpoint, but I promise you, you will understand it the first time you see your little girl heart broken, the first time you see her go through her little puppy love, her first crush. And when you see that happening and you can't understand and you're not in the position as a man to comfort your daughter because you can't understand why she's crushed, it's going to make you change everything about you if you're the right type of man, you know. So, all right, guys, we're up against the break. I just wanted to put that out there and, just say that, I don't know, women, you guys are beautiful. You guys are incredible. And I just don't know how the hell you do it. I really and truly don't know how you do it. All right. So we're going to get into that. Coming up after the break, we're going to get into some more stuff. And we're just going to take it from there. You're listening to the Random Select Podcast right here on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where talk and music lives. Catch you guys after the break.
Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
Hi, this is Clifford English, your host and producer of The Gospel Train. Join me every Sunday right here on Beat Break 87 FM radio. You will be encouraged, you will be equipped, you will be educated, you will be entertained, all while hearing the best in gospel music. Don't miss your connection with The Gospel Train right here on Beat Break 87 FM radio. BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Listen to the Random Select Podcast with Mario Watts weekdays from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Beat Break 87 FM and BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Hey world, it's your man Precise. And I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com. Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
He has performed on stage in front of thousands of poetry lovers. He has sold out shows and rocked the crowd with the best poets in the industry. Welcome to the stage, spoken word artist, Patrick Duncan, better known as the Preacher Man.
I am Benjamin T. Montgomery. I invented a boat propeller. I am the former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela!
Critically acclaimed spoken word artist, poet, writer, and the creator of Black on Purpose poetry TV series Wordplay. Patrick the Preacher Man Duncan is coming to a venue near you.
Why is the only time we can come together as a nation is when there are acts of insanity, chaos, or devastation.
Stay tuned to Beat Break 87 FM for updates on Patrick Duncan's upcoming arrival to your city. Visit cdbaby.com/CD/Patrick S. Duncan to order his latest album, What's Going On. Available online, including CD Baby and iTunes.
I want this high to have no affiliation to a political party. I want this high to be spiritual.
For more info, go to BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
As long as I live.
As long as I live.
A storage tank ruptured, and for miles, chemicals were pushing up against the riverbanks.
This was a big, big deal, and it was going to have a serious impact on communities up and down the river.
I remember the moment. This local guy came up to me and said, "They call the guard out for this stuff?"
You probably thought we were all about hurricanes, tornadoes, fighting Mother Nature.
Hey, it's a chemical spill. It's a disaster.
It affects the water supply, threatens wildlife.
We're talking about the health of entire communities and people's livelihoods.
You bet we're ready for these kinds of things.
We were out there with booms to prevent the spill from expanding.
We were responsible for protecting and monitoring the sensitive wetlands.
I also remember the moment that same guy came up to me and said, "I don't know what we would have done if they hadn't called the guard up."
Learn more about how you can protect your friends, families, neighbors, and the environment. Everything that makes up your community. Go to NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by by the Georgia National Guard. Aired by the Georgia Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Beat Break 87 FM wants to help you get the word out on your next community event.
Hey, do you have an upcoming public service announcement that you want listeners to know about? Well, email us the info to psabeatbreak87@gmail.com so we can help spread the word. That's psabeatbreak87@gmail.com. If your event flyer has the words nonprofit, community, support, charity, and just describes everything about helping our community, please share the special event right here on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
When it comes to hip-hop,
Don't stop.
R&B, and talk radio, no one does it better than Beat Break 87 FM.
This segment is brought to